Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the day of the video. Darren, how's it going today? Today we are on campus. It is Monday and we've got here at quarter to 8. So we've done really well to get here on time and stuff. I woke up early. I was like waking up as my alarm was getting ready to go off. So I was up early, got changed, uploaded my daily vlog at home before I came here. I haven't done the description and whatnot yet though. And then got in car, drove here nice and smoothly. It's really sad because I think it's sad. Like, this is the third to last time. Like, my car's only got 3 more journeys to Bath to make. That's so sad. My poor little car. So something that I find quite humorous at the moment is that the you know how I took the spare wheel out just in case the new car doesn't come with a spare wheel? Well, it feels like my car is it's like a Ferrari now, because that thing was weighing it down some. And I put my bag and stuff in the boot, came back to like get it all out again when I parked up, and my boot's in the wheel compartment because like there's just a thin carpet and it's just flexed down because there's no wheel underneath it to prop it up. Oh dear. So potentially gonna have to put the wheel back in so we can go shopping tonight, but YOLO, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely YOLO. What's going on today though? Quite a busy day ahead of me. It's quite a long day as well. My first lecture's at 10 o'clock and that's for Advanced HDI. Where we're doing something new, I believe, which is going to be exciting. And then I have a meeting to do. I've got a lot of entrepreneurship to do later. I've got a meeting at 1:30 with someone who could potentially is going to shed some light on what funding I can do to start my company, my final year project up as a company after I graduate. But then I have 2 hours of entrepreneurship and then an hour group meeting after entrepreneurship. I feel like that's probably going to be too long and it might not be a full hour, but anyway, I've got to leave at 5 anyway, so. But yeah, so it's a pretty full day. Otherwise though, I'm heading to the library and I'm going to do some programming today, I believe. Programming in the gaps. And then, because I did all my entrepreneurship yesterday. So, and then tomorrow I'm going to be focusing on reports and stuff. And ladies and gentlemen, that was a good morning so far. I have implemented the app, the settings that I needed to pull through for my new branch of the mutation area. There are a couple of changes I need to make because now some of the things I was pulling through already has now been collated into one area, so I can now just pass that one thing through instead of duplicating it around. But I'm heading to HCI now. Still lots to do code-wise. Also, I've just received my contract / starter pack for my new job. So I need to go through that. There's a lot of it to go through. It's fucking huge. And there's a couple of things that I want to make sure aren't in there. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that lecture was finished. Although I always seem to be walking towards Chancellor's whenever I'm vlogging, don't I? This is just like naturally the area on campus that is like less busy, so you always seem to be able to vlog here, whereas like on the main parade and stuff you can only really vlog in the morning. So I finished my lecture in there, then walked over there with Freya to go do some work. So I was interested in, as per usual, it was on, we finished up on search and sense making and then moved on to multitasking, which is what we started now for this week, and then we move on to something else next week as well, I think. And then I went to go do some programming. I've also looked through, although still semi-briefly, the initial terms and conditions, like the main terms and conditions for my contract that I've been passed through. It seems okay. However, an email is going to be sent because there's a terms and condition in there that if it remains in there, it's likely a deal breaker and I won't want to work there. So I'm going to go and try and change my contract, lol. I accidentally went to my lecture room, which isn't on until 2 and it's now 1. I left the lab and I wanted to go to the car, get some chewing gum to freshen up my breath because I've got a business meeting in a minute. Somehow got that confused with going early to the lecture. What a strange one. What have I been working on? I have been working on my Finny project. I've got through all of the changes that I need and I've now extended the controller. And I'm now considering how best to implement the changes that I need to make, because it's similar in some ways to how I do my mutations, but in other ways it isn't. Short, I think it probably is worth going down the fully fledged Roslyn route of doing it, just in case there comes a time when I have to mutate tests to fit my program and I need to do something more powerful than essentially a control find. So here's my motor. I've been looking out for a car similar to the car I'm buying to show you. There must be one of them in this car park. Here's what I'm thinking. And I'm trying to kill a little bit of time before this meeting. I always do that where I sit in the lab and I'm like, oh, I want to start this bit, but I don't really know how to do it. So I will go out and do something else now, and then I can come back and do it in a bit. I'll do it later when I've got more free time. So say on Tuesday when I'm actually planning on doing it. But really, that's just an excuse, because as soon as I come outside and tell you about it, I immediately decide what the best decision is. So I don't know why I pretend that I need to sit and think about it, because I kind of already know. While control find is faster, if I'm going to entertain the idea of doing this properly, then I should do it properly. So, no one about my car. That's good. I like that. Also, would you look at how beautiful today is? It's ever so nice outside. Ladies and gentlemen, and I'm heading to the car now. It's just gone 5 o'clock. And I've excused myself from the group meeting because I need to get back and we need to do some shopping tonight. It's been a pretty busy day today, and I'm going to have to catch you all up on it in a bit because I've got to get back relatively quickly, and a lot's happened. The kid over there walking, I imagine, down to town in a supermarket's uniform, my old uniform. I used to never ever walk around in my uniform blatantly. I couldn't do that. I couldn't deal with that at all. I'd wear a coat over the top of it at all times, no matter what, no matter how hot it was. I don't want people to know. God damn. And stop traffic is one of the main problems with leaving at this time. God damn it. You can't indicate left, bro. You can't turn left, bro. You can't do that. That's not legal. YOLO. Ladies and gentlemen, it looks like car cam's going to be a thing, and we have to get used to this. Well, don't get used to it, actually, because my new car doesn't seem to have a place where I could put car cam in its current format, which is a Gorilla Pod in a little rivet of the dashboard, because that just doesn't exist in my new car. I may look into a different way of attaching it, but saying that, I don't really car cam very often. So anyway, so what's going on today then? Last time I spoke to you, I was going to the meeting. I went to the meeting, and the guy was having he was having a meeting with other people, one of which was my project supervisor. So I kind of hovered by the door and I was like, is my project supervisor here for the same reason I'm here? And then there was someone else there that I was like, oh no, maybe not then. So I hung around, and then I went in to the guy I had a meeting with is the person who lectures entrepreneurship. So I was having a half-hour meeting with him before that lecture, and I went to his office. I knocked on the door and he was like, oh hi, and he goes, are you going the same place I'm going? Or like, we going together? And I'm like, no, we had a meeting at past, but you overran. I didn't know whether you wanted to have it now or whether you wanted to do it later, reconvene. And he was like, he thought I'd hung around to walk to lecture with him. Like, bloody hell, I'm not that nerdy. So anyway, we had the meeting after that, went to Entrepreneurship, we learnt about company law, very, very fucking brief, company law and employment stuff for companies. It was interesting. We were then applying that to our companies, deciding what size our company would be, whether it would be an LLP, whether it be a PLC, etc. And then we went to have this meeting with the guy after this. So anyway, went to the meeting after. I had a group meeting at the same time, but I told them that, like, I've got a meeting with the lecturer about my final year project. I'll reconvene with you in about 15 minutes. I will get back to you as soon as possible, basically. So anyway, I disappeared from the group meeting, went to this meeting with Thingy, and I was basically talking about the possibility of taking my final year project and spinning it up into a startup company. And there are schemes that are available at the university that are designed to set up that kind of thing. The way that universities are marked these days, apparently, how they're ranked, is A, by academics, so academically, so that's why people like, well, not why, but it's why Bath was quite good, because Bath's got quite a good academic record. But also because another way is how much the things that they work on affect industry. So they are very interested in taking research projects, like my final year project, and turning it into companies, turning it into businesses, or taking it to pre-existing businesses and all that kind of stuff. So we was talking about the different things that could work in my favour. There's something called the KTP, which is the Knowledge Transfer Project program. Oh gosh. And that's where you go and work for a different company, but you also work for the university, and the copyright for the project you make belongs to the company, and all of this kind of stuff. It's something that I looked into working with for another company, but then kind of partially decided that I wouldn't, because it just didn't I didn't like the terms and conditions. The company also said, to be fair, that what I was doing doesn't directly interest them, so they wouldn't get anything out of it. It would just be a case of they'd help me out, and they don't do it for that. So that was a no-goer, but I could do it with any company, and I've actually just thought of a good company that I could email, assuming I can get to contact with them. Get in contact with someone that's quite well placed, rather than like their marketing guys. But I've thought of a company that my product would suit for, so they would be interested in using it as a KTP, or they'd be interested in buying my product. One of the two. So we talked about that. Like, the amount of money available to do that is like £100,000. Like, I could have 100 grand as part of that scheme to build my project, which is mad. But the project belongs to the company, and that's like the pot the government / the university will give. And then there's other things you can do. They've pavemented this road. It's lovely. I'm going a different way to avoid traffic. So there's other things you can do, which are like different schemes. Like, I could go through the university innovation centre, which basically means the university will take a cut of the company. And the guy was like, I wouldn't do this. I don't think anyone comes out on top of going through that scheme. But what they can do is there are different pots of money that are available to people to sort stuff, to basically like set things up. So I could do like research papers, and I could basically sell it to the university, and things like that would enable me to get money out of the university and out of the government to set up my company, basically. We were going through all the different possibilities, and he basically said, come to the end of it, like, there is another thing that I can go to now. So he's like, right, well, your best bet is contacting this person, seeing what we can do about this. But it sounds like essentially what you need to do is just go, fuck it, start a company and just do it. Just jump in feet first. Because I said to him, like, I'm on the entrepreneurship course. Like, we're going through all of this stuff in the lectures, and I'm like, fuck me, there's a lot to starting up a company. There is a lot. And he goes, like, while it's possibly a disadvantage doing the entrepreneurship course, because not only are you looking at all of this stuff, it actually is probably best if you just jumped in and just jumped off the cliff and saw if you could fly, rather than going, oh, shall I be a PLC or should I be an LLP? What are the advantages, disadvantages, and all that malarkey? For fuck's sake, Polo, just let's let the one from Skegness go. Jesus Christ. Oh, damn it, you're like causing fucking traffic. So we had like a long discussion about what was the best possibilities for me. There are pots of money available, and I thought they'd be small. I thought they'd be like a couple of £1,000s, but apparently there can be as high as like £50,000. Like, the reason I am not starting it as a company, there's two reasons why I'm not starting it as a company out the bat. One, the biggest, I can't afford to. They're like, financially, I'm a YouTuber, but I'm not rich. I don't have a second, I'm not rich in the slightest. Yeah, I've just bought a car, all that kind of stuff. Like, what I need is a salary. That is what I need in life. And while it's possible to go home, live with my parents, eat beans, like really fucking skimp to do it, that's possible. But what I want to do is I want to live with Laura. I want to do this and whatever in Bristol. I want to do that. And unless Laura is in a job that can support me, which means that she needs to get a job that increases to the same level as my student finance increases. Because obviously next year I don't get student finance. So the reason we can live at the moment is because Laura's salary plus my student finance plus a bit of savings, and we can afford the year. And Laura's putting money away, I'm putting money away, everyone's happy, right? Next year, if I don't have a job, then I've lost however much money from student finance, I've lost this, and I won't be able to afford to do it. Like, at the moment, currently, I could afford to do it. I could afford to work on it full time, but I won't be able to do that. So, it's probably best that I get an actual job. And this is the second reason that I didn't want to start it immediately, is because I only know how one company works. I've worked for one technology company, and to be quite frank, it isn't doing very well. So, bloody hell, come on, car. To be quite frank, it's not doing great. So, it's probably best for me to go and work in some other companies to see A, how they work, B, how they run their technology, C, how they actually organise the company. So whether I go to a small company and figure out if they will be like how to run a startup, which is what I want to do, or whether I go to a big company and figure out how you run a big company and how that can apply to a startup. They're the options, basically. So it looks like I always thought, the best option was to go into a job and squirrel money away into a big pot of money, so that if I want to start up a company, I can. Because there's things like, it's not just a case of, like, I'll need someone to help me, so I need to pay a salary, or I need to find someone who has a pot of money that they want to put in, or they want to have the risk of not having a salary, and all that kind of shit. And I know who I want to hire, but I don't have the money to pay them. So, by the by. So, that looks like the best route for me, is work part-time, squirrel my money away, get to the point where I can literally go live, cancel my contract, which is half leave work for myself, or maybe go somewhere, work somewhere else, get some more experience, then start my own company. That's the logical thing to do when you have the financial backing to be able to do it yourself without getting other people involved, and with having a big pot of savings that you can burn. That's half the problem with this contract that I've got, because the contract I've been given for this job says any intellectual property that I gain while working there belongs to that company, and I'm like, fuck that. The intellectual property, for one, already belongs to my project. B, you already know my project exists, and that's part of the reason why you want me, because you want to use it. C, you're not having it, and the job isn't worth giving up my project for. So, that's like part of the, if I can say to them, like, look, by all means we can do this, but that's off the cards, then I'm happy. However, if I were to apply for one of these pots of money that could be as high as £50,000, that is £50,000, that's a cheap £50,000. Compared to other sources of funding, that's cheap. I know it's a small sum of money relatively to how much it costs to run a company, but I won't get a better. It's like how my student finance is one of the best loans I'll ever get, because it's a bloody brilliant loan. The interest is fine, the payments are fine. That is literally mostly a grant, and then they might have like some bits back. I could pay them back for it, all that kind of stuff. So I'm in a dilemma of what I can and can't do. I think I know what I'm going to do. I think I just know outright. But we will see. So that's part of the thing I was toying with. I then went back to the group meeting. We were discussing what we need to do, divvying up work again, and heading on back home to Bristol now to go do some shopping and stuff with Laura, which is going to be good fun. I'm not sure how long my battery's going to last, to be honest with you. I'm actually making really good progress though. As soon as I came out of Bristol, I just put my headlights on there. As soon as I came out of Bristol, bloody flying now, which is good. But I'm obviously going to hit Bristol. This is the problem with leaving after 5, is you get commuter traffic, and I get like a small pocket of it in Bath, but then most people commute, like, I don't know whether I'm going with or away from the traffic, I don't know. So I've tried to pick one of the least travelled routes in and out, which is this route. So anyway, that's that. I had to stop talking because my mouth's going dry, and my water bottle's in the boot of the car, empty. Not much use there, is it?
And when I get fired, it's not over. We get through this.
Oh no, Graham. Oh no, Graham. Don't do it, Graham.
Homework is still being to represent the view of your respective business, but it will have to be for an organisation that appreciates his efforts. Simon Jack, BBC News, Harrogate. Bank of England is to increase protection for banks and other financial institutions by offering extra funding in the weeks before and after the EU referendum in June. The announcement comes on the eve of an appearance by the bank's governor, Mark Carney.
And time jump, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just about to head to bed. It's been a busy afternoon, evening time. Got back in, had dinner more or less straight away. Then went shopping and came back, sorted the bins out, made the sandwiches, washed up, put all of the shopping away, had Graham out for an hour while we watched House of Cards, and then watched a little bit of the news. Laura went to bed, and then I've been researching some of that stuff that we talked about in the meeting today, so it's been good fun. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to head to bed, more or less now, and I am going to talk to you tomorrow, essentially. Tomorrow we are focusing on what's the word? Advanced HCI tomorrow, and maybe also, hopefully not much of that. I've got a low battery anyway, so it's a good time to end. Thanks for watching. I will catch you later.